All right, welcome to another episode of the Empowerment Perspective Podcast. My name is Demiso Josie alongside
Spencer's here.
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. It's nice outside today.
Got rid of that snow, right?
Yeah, you got rid of the cold weather. Take the snow, it's not cold.
That's true. Well, we wouldn't know because we just came from sunny Florida down there. Well, it wasn't really cold. I mean, hot down there. It was kind of cold.
Like we took that Jersey weather with us. 50 degrees, people still in the pool. That just baffled me.
Yeah, yo, I was trying to get by the pool, but you was like, nah, it's too cold.
It was cold.
Can't go down there.
That's like being next to the ocean.
So we were down there for the Innovative Schools conference, and we were speaking on Hip Hop 101. Tell me your thoughts about the conference and what we talked about.
I thought the conference was outstanding. I think we did a really good job, opened up some eyes, and more importantly, nobody walked out when we were talking. So I think that was a big thing for me.
I was a little worried at first because it was like 1-2 people came in. It was after lunch. Then it was like 20 people came in there. But the thing I realized, the right people was in there.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And more important, I think that we had a bad time slot.
Yeah.
So we have to work on that. I think that we have to get day one keynote. That's no pushing.
We're trying to get keynote.
Yeah.
Well, I have to say
shout out to Keely.
Your pettiness, worked and got us some perks there.
Well, as I said before, they really started with me. So, they put my name, and then I get down there and I have no name. So
that's true.
You can't do that to people.
That is true. So we did that and got invited to Atlanta and Vegas to speak on that topic and other topics. So like I told you guys, we're not playing around here on the Empowerment Perspective Podcast, and we in the Empowerment Perspective group, we're going to keep it moving. Our previous podcast, we did Suck It Up Buttercup.
Oh man, they went in on you.
Yeah, they did. They tore me up.
Yeah, they did. But I'm happy to see that you got some water somewhere.
I got water. Everybody got waters out here right now.
And we got some air because the window's open. So everybody should be healthy by the end of this podcast.
That's lovely. So this is our first video cast too. Yes. So shout out to the people that are going to be watching this in video land. But the thing I took away from that particular episode is that the world really doesn't care about your feelings. They really don't care about you.
They really don't.
So I was thinking and having this conversation with success, and the success was telling me that I really don't care that you were abused when you were younger and you had no money. I really don't care. It's about what you can produce.
Absolutely. That was yesterday. What Janet Jackson said, "What can you do for me now?"
Right.
Yeah. So that's what it boils down to. So anytime you go through some type of struggle, you got to suck it up. Buttercup. What can you do for me lately?
We got to get another podcast where you get it. It's your turn.
No, I already got my turn.
No, that wasn't
Brooklyn.
That wasn't deep enough.
See, now you're in your feelings again.
I am in my feelings.
You wasn't in your feelings when they were going at me.
I was laughing because it was funny.
It was funny. So then the next time I was laughing because it was funny. Yeah. They went in.
But shout out to Melanie and Tina for that. Yes. It was very informative about germs and sicknesses and things of that nature.
And your cousin, he chimed in with some very important information. He's 3 feet. So
listen, they jumped 3 feet in the air. So we was talking about crabs, unfortunately.
Yes.
So I want to introduce somebody. This young man. I think I can call him young man, even though he's older than me by a couple of years.
I appreciate that.
No problem. Somebody I consider to be a brother. Grew up with him back on the block on Stanger Avenue. We had Miss Carter here previously, so I definitely had. We also had his brother Demetrius was also on. Yes. So we were talking about people, and I always preach this. I don't put myself around people that ain't about anything. So this particular brother, I looked up to him, even though we, were good friends in the things that he was into. And I kind of, followed his footsteps and things and tried to the best I can. Phenomenal athlete, phenomenal father, phenomenal husband. His wife is in the building. You can't see her, but she's in the building. I'm going to get her on this podcast and she don't know it. She's going to get on. But Jason Poles, thank you let's make some noise for Jason.
Thank you.
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, man. Can't complain.
You liking the weather? I know you coming all the way from Syracuse and probably 25 feet of snow out there.
You know what? It hadn't snowed in about 2 weeks, but snow's still on the ground. That's how cold it is.
Man, that's cold.
But it's you know what? Come down here and put the windows down while you drive. It felt good, man. True. Felt good to be back in the hood too.
All right.
Riding around in golf course.
The hood's changed a little bit.
We are not in the hood right now. I can take you to where the hood is. This is not it right now.
We need to do podcasts live.
Nah, we might not have no equipment.
You do right in the street, right on the ad, right in the middle of the street.
Right on the block, right? So you got a lot of shovels and stuff out there in Syracuse. That's how you get your exercise in?
No, you got to buy a snowblower, man.
That's cheating.
No, it ain't. You 42 years old.
But you
bad back, you don't shovel. You don't do that.
That's how you know you old right there. Yeah, 42.
That sounds smart though, because
No. We grow up. When you grow up, you get smarter. At least you're supposed to, anyway.
because that one snowstorm that we had, that was mean.
Yeah, it was.
No, we get that normal.
dirty.
That's a regular snow day for you guys.
Normal.
Do they cancel schools when it's like that?
Not a lot.
They still got to go to school?
Oh yeah. They do a good job of the roads. They clean the roads off pretty good.
Y'all pay y'all taxes out there. That's what that means.
Man, they still have to go to school.
Sometimes, depending on how cold it is.
You'll go by the temperature.
Pretty much.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's like negative, was it negative?
Negative what?
Negative 15, they cancel school.
Wind chill.
Wind chills, negative 15, they cancel school. Other than that, most of the time,
Negative 15?
Yeah.
Wow. Did you say something?
I thought I heard something.
So you gotta understand. Let me put it in perspective. Jay's lovely wife is in the building, and she was like, "I'm not gonna be on the podcast." I said, "I'm not gonna hook up a microphone for you." I said, "If you say something, I'm gonna be mad." She just said something.
She just said something. She just jumped in the podcast.
Something. So tell us, Jay, what do you do at Syracuse University?
Basically, my role, I'm assistant athletic director for development. So I raise money for the athletic department. We're a nonprofit, and I rely on our alumni and our donors to support our student athlete and our coaches in our mission to not just put better product on the field or the court or whatever, but also for the student athlete as a whole. You know, our goal is to graduate young men and women so that they can go into life and be successful off the field.
Okay.
So you said it's a nonprofit. Now, is it just your department, or the university is considered nonprofit?
University is considered non-profit. So basically, when I take a donation, it is tax deductible. Obviously, consult with your tax consultant, tax advisor. I can't give that advice, but that's what I do.
That's very interesting to me. So if I'm a student and I'm paying tuition, obviously, to Syracuse University, can I write that off?
Not for your tuition, no.
But it's a nonprofit, though.
Like a donation.
Yeah, I collect donations.
Oh, you're collecting.
You're
I
collecting
collected
it.
donations. Yeah, I collected donations. There you go.
I understand. Why did you decide to get into this field?
You know what? I was in the banking business 14 years, and you know, obviously Syracuse is my alumni, and that's where I played my ball at. And
Unacceptable, but go ahead. We'll get to that.
It's very acceptable.
That's personal.
You know,
right there.
it is personal. It
We
gets
going
into
there, so
personal.
Not yet. We ain't gonna go there.
Okay.
Well, I'll save it.
You know, and just to have the opportunity to support my university where I played my ball, I got my degree from. It was just a great opportunity. You know, never really imagined living in Syracuse or coming back, but I always wanted to work in sports. And it's my way of giving back to the school, giving back to the student athletes to help them and our coaches to succeed on and off the field.
It's outstanding. So let me ask this: as far as the student athletes, and we probably need to go into a little bit more in depth and speaking about the word student, because a lot of athletes don't believe they need to be students.
We're really in that crossroads right now, and in order to be a college athlete, you gotta be a student first, and that's very much understood. And you're getting in that crossroad right now because what's happening with the NBA with the one and done is something that there's so much money being floated out in, you know, professional sports.
Yes.
So, you know, how do I manage and balance that time frame? Not just from a student, but from a coach perspective too. Because obviously the coach's job is to win games. We want him to do that.
Yes.
But our student athletes, you know, they all have to realize you're not forever always going to be a student. I mean, not a student, an athlete.
Absolutely.
That's going to come to an end. Your education is something you always carry with you. So it's up to our community to make sure our student athletes understand that, provide them what they need, that they're successful.
Interesting. Let's go back. And I know, let's talk about the recruiting process, because I know you went through it, you know, in high school. I just want to highlight the differences of when you went through it and as you understand it now. So let's just talk about the process of recruiting when you were in high school, and, you know, I guess just take it from the football angle.
You know, it's funny. It's like, I can say I cheated because I had an unfair advantage. My brother was a high Division I prospect who probably could have went anywhere in the country if he wanted to. So I got involved early. So you learn from those who come before you.
Okay.
So I watched his process, and then I knew what to ask. My mom then knew what to ask. She had more details and hey, I heard that question before, some more follow-up questions and answers. So, the process is something I tell any kid, enjoy it, because realistically, it's the last time you get to choose where you're going to go, especially if you're playing a sport.
That's true.
You'll get drafted if you're lucky enough to get drafted.
Right.
You'll get traded if you're lucky enough to be in the league that long.
Right.
So, but the process, it's you take your visits, and sometimes when I meet recruits, I ask them, what do you want to do in life? Start thinking about that, because your college career, unfortunately, could end in college.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do with the rest of your life? What's your passion? What do you want to do?
So let me ask this. So when it came to you and you're going through the process, what was the one question that you needed answered for yourself when coaches came or anyone affiliated with the university came to see you?
I was more worried about the life after sports.
Okay.
What is your support that your university offers for my transition out of life?
Okay.
Is your alumni base involved? Are they active? How large is it? Can I rely on them to say, hey, look, I have a degree. I want to come work for your institution or your company or whatever else there is. That was more or less my concern. I knew I could play football.
Okay.
And any athlete who's being recruited should keep that in mind. You can play this sport because that's why they're after you.
Absolutely. They're not here because you look good.
Right.
You're not pretty.
So think about that other thing. So that way, when you go visit your school of choice or whatever school's recruiting you, that visit's not tailored to what they think you want. You're starting to ask the question, being involved about what you want to get out of them. And that's something I think that, parents now these days need to understand that they need to get involved with that kid's process on that side.
Got you. So you had all these big schools going after you. I remember, I think Alabama, and you went down there. I think you had a visit down there, Syracuse, all these big schools. Like, why did you choose? I mean, we're talking Alabama, though. Why did you choose Syracuse?
Yeah, you know what? It's when you're making a choice, you also want to feel like family. I took a visit down to Alabama. Here I'm a northern kid coming down to Alabama in the middle of nowhere. I really didn't feel at home. And Syracuse, my brother was a big Syracuse fan, so I'd known about him for a long time. And their coaches I had known since I was in 8th grade.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it was just a level of comfort of when I went there to take a visit. My brother already had taken a visit, and some of the coaches I knew, they knew me, they knew my mom. It was just a real comfort lever and just made me feel at ease. It was far enough away where I could be away and not be bothered, but close enough where if I needed to get home, I can get home.
Gotcha. Let me just put it in perspective for you, because we also have a mutual friend who also went to Syracuse to play football. So we're talking about an era and a time where, Delsey Sports was, we had some athletes out there that were doing some great things. And some of them probably should have went, higher and just didn't because of coaching and whatever the case may be. But we had athletes on our block, and it all came from Stanger Avenue where we grew up. So I guess did that play a decision or a part in your decision, knowing that Randy was also looking into that direction?
Actually, no. It was funny. We never really talked about the process.
Really?
No. We wanted to keep it separate. We didn't want to say, hey, you're going here, I want to go too. It came down to the last minute. I called him up, or he called me, or whatever. We got on the phone, and I said, hey, where are you going? And he goes, you know what? My parents just came home with a dog called Syracuse.
Wow.
I said, wow.
Wait, whoa.
That wasn't me, though.
I don't buy into coincidence. So you mean to tell me, out of all the names they could have picked,
well, that's
they picked a city in northern New York.
That's where they want.
That's where they.
Yes, absolutely. Not Hawaii, not USC, or my dog's name UCLA.
That was brilliant. That's very brilliant on the parents' part. So I'm gonna call my dog Temple. Everything's Temple on his house.
No, dog boy.
Are we going in now? You put the G over top.
Did we just start something?
I'm gonna suppress it for a little bit more. I got some more questions. So the recruiting process, like when you were going through, I know now you got these 7-on-7 tournaments and the camps and stuff is a big thing. You see, I guess, a big difference from what you went through and what you see right now?
The process in itself is a little bit different because when we were growing up, we played 3 different sports, and I really wouldn't have it any other way. I was a quarterback in high school, and people very rarely saw me be as athletic as I was until they saw me play basketball. And some coaches even said it to me. Like, I didn't think he was that athletic until I saw
Pocket passer? That's what you were?
Not really. I mean, we ran
the ball.
option.
Yeah.
Oh, you're option. Okay.
So they didn't really get to see me be an athlete.
Syracuse makes sense then. Okay.
So the process in terms of what's now is now these kids, they do all these camps, they do all these individual training sessions, and very rarely will you find them playing more than 2 sports.
Don't have time. Yeah.
So for us growing up, I mean, I think I went to 1 camp.
Right.
You know, I didn't do a lot of camps.
Right.
It was just not what we did. You know what? We just played basketball all the time.
That's it.
And you know, we dominated on the field. So now with all the individual trainings and gurus and this, that, and the other, and the camps, that has become such a big thing. I mean,
do you think it works though? Like, I feel like it's a big money, scheme. I think these people are raping these kids and parents of this money.
Yeah, well, I think yes and no. I think part of it is, it's an opportunity for my kid to be seen.
Yes.
And there are kids out there who go to a camp and, maybe they're a 2-star, but then they show out. Next thing you know, they're a 4-star, and all these coaches in colleges are after them. And obviously you're going to have, some kids that, mommy just wants Johnny to play. And they'll pay anything to get him to play and be better. Now, coach, whoever's running the camp, they're there to make money.
Right.
Obviously, that's maybe not their main objective, but they're not going to turn that down. So, for some kids, I always tell, anyone that asks me, I say, look, enjoy the process when you're young, because as you get older, it gets more of a business, it gets more serious. And the earlier you start making it more serious is the earlier it becomes less fun for the kid. And I think what they've done is probably made it too early for the kids to really enjoy the process.
I tell the kids all the time that I come across, like, sort of the same thing, like, go out and play as many things as you possibly can, enjoy it while you can, while it's still fun.
Yeah.
Because, when I played football for a little bit at Temple, it was a business. It was like, and I didn't like, basketball was my thing. Like, football was not like my love and everything. So it was a terrible existence for me, because it was just football 24/7.
Right.
Talk to us about your schedule and what kind of things a student athlete goes through during the season.
Student athletes, I mean, basically, I'm going to obviously talk more through the football lens, but you get up in the morning, you got breakfast check, you go to school, you're done school probably by like 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, you're in the football wing, you're studying film, you got meetings, then you go practice for 2 hours, and then you eat. By the time that happens, it's 6, 7 o'clock. Maybe you have study hall, so your day is done by like 8, 9 o'clock at night. And just get up and repeat all over again every single day.
When you say check-in, what time is check-in in the morning for most?
For the most part, by 8 o'clock, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. So I mean, obviously, I don't know what they do now, but that's what it was when I was there. And basically, you want the kids to get up and get out of bed, not staying all day, laying in bed. So, and they'll check your classes too. So if you got 8 o'clock class, somebody probably gonna check that, make sure you're there. But it's all for good reasons. You want to make sure. You're not missing class, because if you miss class in college, you can't participate. Your grades go too far down. Guess what, son? You're out of here.
And these coaches, I mean, it's a cutthroat business. So if they're not winning, obviously they're going to end up getting fired or whatever, and having to find a new job and stuff. And I remember a story that you told me about. I guess you had a dislocated finger or whatever. And you were pointing to the sideline, and like my finger was way over here, and the coach was like waving them back on the field.
Like, his finger was pointing in one direction. He was like, "Yeah, I got it. I know how to get there. Hey, go back.
Go back in.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but you know what? It's you deal with it. It's not. It's just a finger. It's not like my limb was falling off or anything else like that.
So just a finger? Now, what position did you play when you...
Safety.
Oh, you play safety. Yeah. So, for a safety guy, it's just a finger. Well, they say you guys can't catch, so...
This finger was just like over here, and that's why it's actually still big.
Oh, wow.
Never went back.
Probably because you didn't get off the field soon enough.
No, there was no saving that thing.
It wasn't saving that thing.
It was broke, it was dislocated, torn cartilage. It was everything you can do to a finger.
So you're coming to the end of your college career, and we're talking about possibly going to the NFL. Like, walk us through that process and what you were thinking and the anxiety and all that stuff that came along with it.
I mean, it was obviously it's coming. Every stage of life, obviously, there's a comfort level, especially, high school, you're there for 4 years, you're going to be there. College, you're there for 4 or 5 years, you're there. And I didn't know if I was going to be drafted or not. I didn't know if I was going to play another down or not.
Okay.
So that reality sort of hits you. What is my life going to be like next year? What am I going to be doing? Where I want to be? So, you prepare for the best. But also keep in mind that, hey, look, the worst could be nothing happens at all, and I got to get a job.
Right.
So you sort of do both. For me, it was anxious. It was just sort of nervous. It was a nervousness that, you just didn't know what was going to happen. And that's a scary feeling.
Now, did they supply you with enough support to go through that process as Syracuse?
Yeah. I mean, they had. They had a panel of different people that you can consult with in terms of who you want your agent to be and where you want. I chose to stay at school and continue to work out.
Okay.
One of my objectives, I've seen some players, get with agents. The agent paying them to fly over here to train and to work out, and hey, I'll pay for your car and I'll buy you clothes and I'll do this, that, and the other. It all sounds gravy until you get that first check.
And they take everything back.
Well, yeah. I remember the first one was at the Jets. There was a rookie. He thought he was going to get drafted. He did all this expensive stuff. He pulled up with a brand new Lexus and all this other, and he got his first check, and he goes, where's my money?
Right.
And his agent was like, well, remember that loan that I gave you to get here and do this, that, and the other?
Wow. It's like the record business.
Yeah. And I didn't want to do that. So I stayed at Syracuse. I probably went away to train like for a week, did it once. I still had my car. At the time, it was 11 years old. I pulled in the camp with my 1988 Toyota Camry, and I was good because I didn't want to pay nobody back.
Okay.
But, some student athletes, and you do. It's a weird feeling because you got to think that I'm the best in order to achieve. But they carry that mindset into the off-the-field stuff. So they think they're going to make all this money, so what do? Go spend a lot of money. Is at the bar or with your girls, take care of your homeboys and all that stuff. And it's just not necessary.
So where did that wisdom come from? Because it sounds like that you were very prepared ahead of time. Like even before you even got to Syracuse, you already had a vision of how this thing is going to play out for you.
I mean, me and Miso were the younger guys on the block. So we were always used to talking to those before us.
Okay.
And I did the same thing in college. It was just, talking to my mom, talking to my former teammates who went to the NFL. Some got drafted, some didn't. And you sort of take that wisdom, you take that advice and you use it for your own. And it's just really about just preparing for your, because it's going to come to an end. So for those who came before me, what can I take from you so I can better prepare myself? And that's really all it was. I mean, I didn't really think it as, hey, look, I got all this great insight or anything. No, it's just simply about talking to people and asking questions.
That's a really valuable tool in life in general, just having conversations with people, and especially older people. And I ran into this guy, it was like last year, older guy. I was in getting my car fixed. And he saw me, looking at pictures, and he asked me about my kids and stuff. And we got into a conversation about marriage. But then I started asking him questions about, his marriage and things. I said, what's the number one rule that, he's been together like 70 years or something crazy like that with his wife. And he was like, we do everything together. Right. So, when you talk to people and you get those gems for people that made it, then you try to, apply it to your life. So, 9 times out of 10, if you see me somewhere, my wife and or my kids are going to be with me if I can make that happen. Right. So I think that's a very valuable lesson. What other lessons from sports, the value of sports, did it supply for you?
I mean, we were talking early really about, before the podcast, is really about success and failure. And one thing the biggest thing one of my coaches taught us is being a defensive back, you can make a great play and you can celebrate that one great play. But there's a play coming up after that Don't get too high, don't get too low. Learn how to deal with your successes and your failures.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing I think you get from sports, because you're going to fail. It's bound to happen. So I try to teach my kids. It's not about what happened to you. It's about how you react to what happened to you.
Right.
And that's sort of like the biggest thing from sports.
Absolutely.
In the society today where everyone gets a trophy, everyone, participates.
Yes.
That's not life. And sports teach you, hey, look, if it's the coach's job to win and you're at this level, college, not everybody gonna play. And that's life. Someone's going to lose.
I want to ask a question. A lot of times I have opportunity to talk to a lot of athletes. And what they don't understand is that not everybody suits up. So it's a certain amount of players that are going to suit up. But then when you look in the stands, there's a whole bunch of guys in like gray sweats.
Right.
They're still part of the team.
Right, but they ain't playing. No, they play. Just Tuesday through Thursday.
They to practice done it. They to practice done.
But now we'll say that is, now that I work, at Syracuse, and I get to know some of these kids. When I talk to them, I don't talk to them about sports. At least I try not to. Because one of the biggest things that I had to deal with, and what I struggled with, is how do you go from the transition of being a star in high school, always playing and the team relying on you,
in the man,
on the field during the game, then all of a sudden, you ain't the man no more. And I'm sitting in the stands with the gray jersey on, like, it's like, how do I mentally deal with that?
One of the quotes that I like to use when I do have opportunity to talk to athletes is I tell them that somebody has to be Pippen. So you have Mike. Mike gonna put up 45.
Right.
But Pippen, as your job, is to assist Mike as much as possible. Get rebounds, do all those small stuff. Like even guard his guy when he doesn't want to go. Somebody has to always be Pippen. You have to be able to make that transition, because one day you may be Mike, just not today.
Right. And I think it's hard to deal with. I mean, you're probably so many miles away from home. Your first time on your own. You're not playing. Maybe school's going good, but maybe it ain't. And what you find is a lot of good players don't know how to handle that. So what they do is they resort to negative behavior, on or off the field. And I was one of those kids. I'm not going to say that. I was one of those kids. I had to find my way to be that Pippen. And it took me 3 years to figure that out. Like, what's my niche? What's my role on this team? Because everyone has a role.
I mean, that transition to business, it transitions into life. You have to find your niche. You got to find your role in there. Not everyone's going to win all the time. I'm more obsessed with my losses than I am with my wins. Hell, I put it in the book. All my losses in life are in the book. Like, you know what I mean? So I think there's definitely a lesson that needs to be learned on how to lose, and we talked about kids and things of that nature, and how we build this safety net for our kids, and then they don't know how to handle it.
They don't know how to handle what they've been given, but at the same time, we provided it, and we don't know how to handle it either. We're learning on the run, and now we have precious lives that rely on us. So for me, sports was always about, obviously I loved playing football. And everything with CTE and everything else like that, I'll never take it back. I'll play it all over.
So that's what's wrong with you. You got CTE.
Be careful. Be careful.
Did I just say that?
Be careful. Monitor him.
You want to say something, Miss Pope? I can get a microphone.
If one day he comes home and he forgets where he's supposed to be, just know.
See, the good thing is, I'll tell it. That's normal.
That's normal for you?
That's normal for me. I've always been that way.
This is true.
I was on my way. I was like going again. I was going somewhere.
Jamie get ready to call a play in the huddle. Who wants to play?
Oh, I've done that a time or two.
I know. I'm like, that's not what I told you.
You called a play because I forgot.
Oh my goodness, that is crazy.
Well, I'll be honest with you. Sometimes I use I never played really football, but I was a baseball guy. I use CTE, especially when I'm doing something I'm not supposed to do.
Right.
I didn't have it. Remember now that happened. No, I wasn't there.
I mean, it's
great.
It's as much as I love football and will never take it back. It's taught me so many lessons, you know, that I teach my kids, you know. And it's funny, it's like our college coach, Coach Pasqualoni, was like, sometimes you didn't relate to him, but I guarantee you every player that I played with who was under him, I learned so much from that man that I didn't realize I was learning. Just in life.
Life, right.
Because he wanted to teach you to be a man. And he just sort of did it in his way that you didn't really understand. But it prepared us all for life. And I think that's the beauty of football. You know, you're dealing with really a small community of 100 kids. And how do I fit in? How do I prepare? How do I use that network? You know, not just to better myself, but to better someone else, because that's what life is about. It's about, you know, empowering other people.
I like that word, empower. It sounds familiar to me. It sounds very, very familiar to me. That's crazy. So I want to transition a little bit, and then we're going to have a little bit of fun before we wrap this thing up. I know you read the book and things of that nature, and there was a section in the book, and we talked about it off air, and it's called the Rappity Rap Talk Show. Yes, I'm going to go to the Rappity Rap Talk Show. Can you just explain? I know I kind of did it in the book, but how did that come about?
You know, the funny thing is, what was the I forgot the name of the show. It was, but we didn't mock it after anything. It was like we got a radio that had a microphone plug, record 2 tape decks, and we just sat down and just had fun. It was just
boombox or something.
Yeah,
it was a little boombox, and we just put some music on in the background on one side. And we learned. I don't know who figured it out. You can plug a microphone to music and then record on the other cassette. So we had to lay down. We was just having fun, man. So it was
it was STEM all day long before it even became popular.
Yeah, it was
Avenues.
What was it? 5 of us.
It was 5 of us that's sitting there. We had commercials and everything.
Oh yeah.
We did.
God, way too much time.
Well, listen, it was punishment. It wasn't that. It was either
it was just
we just hung out. Like it was either hanging out or we was out in the street doing something that we ain't supposed to be doing. So we was in the house. At Miss Carter's house, and that was the spot. And
nobody was on. Was he on punishment?
No.
My mom's house was we had the hangout spot. It was my spot.
That was the spot.
So we just got together. It was like 5 dudes, a whole bunch of hot breath around one mic.
And one microphone. All day. But that kind of resembles what we do in the podcast. Like, you know, there's no script, there's nothing. We just go off the top and we kind of just make it happen. But that's just the environment that we kind of grew up in. And, you know, it was just, you know, I would say 12, 13, 14 of us that total that just did those things. And it taught such a life lesson, like, you know, the importance of putting important people or the right people around you in that support system. We all roughly came from the same type of situation. You know, no father in the house, and like, we just had each other. You know, but the important thing was that we wasn't going to let each other fail. Like, you know, we knew we needed Jay on the football field, so if he needed help, everyone was going to be there to try to support and help. That was the biggest thing, at least when we was growing up, that I see different today. Like, you don't see a lot of kids having that accountability for each other.
So I think that's special. I think it was a book written by like 3 or 4 guys called The Doctors, where as though they were making sure that each one of them were going to finish what they started, which was to get their doctorate degree. So.
And the funny thing is, we didn't talk about it. We didn't really.
Was no pack anything? I think that's
no.
The pack.
So was no pack at all?
No, really, it was interesting because not like our parents went to college. It was just, we just assumed that was the next natural thing to do.
Right.
And we didn't think anything of it. It was just like, all right, this is what we're going to do. We didn't sit down. Nobody wrote anything down. We just said, all right, he's enjoying that. I'm going to enjoy the same thing.
Right.
And I want to make sure I'm there too. And we were just there for each other.
And there was no hate. Like, it was all love. Like, you know what I mean? I remember seeing, you know, Jay play on TV. Like, yo, that's my guy out there. I run in and see me play on TV. Like, and all these things is just like, we was just so proud of each other. And then, you know, when you create a family unit like that, you could call, like, man, there's been times me and Jay hadn't talked in 5, 6, 7 years. And then I could pick up the phone and the conversation is still the same as it was before. So that's just the type of bond and relationship that we have. My dog's trying to be on the podcast. He said I gotta get my shine in. He makes an appearance every podcast. He makes an appearance too. So that was the environment that we grew up in, and it's still that way, to this day. And it's really, really important for people to have that unit around them.
Absolutely, having that support system, not just within the family and the community, but sometimes you just need to have that person to talk to, right. Especially when you 13 hours away, 15 feet of snow out there, you can't go outside.
Yeah, this is how deep this is, though. So Jay has 2 daughters. He also has a son, but he has 2 daughters, right? And I used to make fun of him, like, you got all girls, blah 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 blah. So him and his wife had this wonderful idea to pack up all their baby stuff, right, and write 2 years on the box and give it to me and Becca. Now me and Becca had no kids at the time. Lo and behold, he must have put some voodoo
juju in that box.
And here I go with 2 daughters 2 years later. Exactly 2 years later.
Oh yeah,
he put the juju on.
Juju on. He's like, if I'm going through this pain,
right. You coming with me?
But now I need to ask this question: Is that petty? Was that petty?
That was very.
That juju.
That wasn't petty. What was petty was I opened up the box and there was a Syracuse bib in the box. That was petty. Now that was petty. I used it to wipe my daughter's butt. That was petty.
See, you ain't right.
Listen. We have this battle all the time.
But we did it out of love, man.
Yeah,
we was concerned for y'all. We wanted the best for y'all. We wanted you to experience what I'm experiencing. You're the only man in the house, so am I. So come with me, brother. Come with me.
I'm not buying it, Jay. I'm not buying it.
That sounds a little petty to me.
I love my daughters and everything. I'm thankful for it, but they definitely set me up with that. So if you get a box in the mail with some kid clothes in it,
and this is why I don't even have a mailbox. Mail means nothing. I'm not even going outside.
Just put it on your doorstep.
That's if I come home.
That is absolutely crazy. Well, we're going to transition into having a little bit of fun here. We always talk about music on this particular podcast. So what are you listening to right now? Top 3 artists that you listening to?
It's funny. I keep it old school, really. And I listen to just various different stuff. But I've really been on a Jay-Z kick.
You like his new album?
I do. It's grown up rap music, really. I like stuff that's like make you think. Of course, I don't know, it was weird. Like lately I've been on a Lenny Kravitz kick, listening to his stuff.
Lenny Kravitz? Yeah. You kind of resemble him a little bit. Your hair.
Back in the day, man. Back in the day.
You want to say something, Miss Poles?
But no, it's just Jay-Z. I listen to anything. It doesn't really matter what type of music it is. Put it on as long as it sound good, got a good beat, I'm listening to it.
Gotcha. What's the last movie that made you cry?
Oh Jesus! I don't think a movie ever made me cry.
You cried. You ain't cried when Cochise died.
No, I did one of these. They got Get the lump me and throw you. All right, then you gotta look up like this. Keep the tears back.
How about when Jerry Curl and Hollywood Shuffle? I was just watching that this morning.
What about old boy gave his speech? What was the movie that we liked? The basketball movie?
Coach Carter?
Yeah, Coach Carter when he gave the speech.
I'm not into movies like that.
You didn't watch Coach Carter?
I watched it, but I can't tell you anything about his speech. I fall asleep on movies anymore, so I don't really watch them.
That's old man stuff, right?
It is. You know what's getting me? That breeze right now. Remember we was on that sofa and we fell asleep?
What happened?
It was like 3. Whose house was he at? We was at somebody's house. Okay. And it was 3 of us, me, you, and Randy.
Yeah.
And we sat down on the sofa and right in front of the window, and a nice cool breeze was coming in. Within 5 minutes.
That's that CTE.
All 3 of us knocked out.
Oh man!
Because we was up recording the Rap Talk show the night before.
Is that what it was? I don't know. I don't know what it was.
Probably. That is very, very funny. But so no movies made you cry, huh? There was something that made you cry.
I'm not the crying type, man.
How about in Juice when they let him go at the end?
No,
like, you got the juice.
No. You got the juice. It's funny.
How about Strat? I want my sandwich just
nothing.
No. Listen, I can do this all day. I'm gonna find something.
Those are funny movies, man. They're not movies you're gonna cry at.
I was crying.
The dog movie. The dog life.
Dog's Life. I don't think he's seen that. Your daughter's teared up watching the movie, and you got a little soft at some point.
No, my daughter's. Now Jordan's the one that cried, but ain't man.
No, you don't get.
Not really.
Who?
Miss Poles has something to say.
Something about some emotion. She gave some hand signals.
See, she needs a microphone.
Right. She can chime in on it.
You're not crying. What was that movie where Jordan was funny?
Oh no, that's not appropriate.
Finding Nemo?
No, we was watching. What was we watching? Basically, we was watching the movie and some dude was getting his head bashed in. My daughter laughing at it.
Oh, she got that from you.
It was all you. Pretty much. It was a slave movie.
Like last year.
Nat Turner. Birth of a Nation.
Birth of a Nation.
And she was laughing.
She's laughing at
you raising your child to laugh at Birth of a Nation?
No, well, it was the one part.
I know exactly what you're
saying. And I go, and she started laughing. I'm like, yo, why is that funny? She goes, did you see his face?
You gotta see that again. You gotta watch it. Speaking of, did your daughters watch Hidden Figures?
Of course.
And what was their take out of it?
I got one daughter that don't talk. So you ask her, like, what you think about the movie. She don't analyze. So I'm like, what you think of the movie? It's a good movie.
She's a one-worder.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got to be careful. I'm a school counselor, so you
say
somebody don't talk. I'm like, what do you mean she doesn't talk?
She don't get into deep, why my 11-year-old?
Okay.
Oh, she'll break it down. She will break it down, and you be like, what? I'm like, all right, Nikki, check that one.
What was their take on that movie?
The youngest one, she loved it. She thought it was a great depiction of, what Black women can do. Really just what people can do, period.
Right.
But obviously more specific, Black women.
Right.
And why aren't these images portrayed more and more?
Right.
Obviously they achieved great things, and she was inspired by it.
That's interesting.
She really liked it.
So I let my daughters watch it. They're here, obviously. They're not going to say their piece, especially this young one here. She doesn't talk either. But I was preparing them for like all the racial stuff, and it's like, how am I going? Because we don't talk about race in our family. Right. So I'm like, how am I going to explain this to them? But then Simone, the oldest one, said that, Daddy, how come they treat women that way?
Yeah.
And I was just like, it completely.
She didn't put it to a race.
No, it was a gender thing for her, and I was just like, yo, that's really, really interesting. At, what, you 9 now or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's funny, we do talk about those things, and honestly, the world's changed since the last election, and I felt it was important that I sat with my daughters, and especially my one daughter, she's 11, but she's into politics. She really is into politics. Really? She wants to go to Harvard. She's, I say she is. I would say she's really smart, but she doesn't just watches it just to take it in. She analyzes and breaks it down. So I really felt as though it was time, when I woke up the next morning, I pulled them in and had a conversation with them. Because I know they pay attention. She watches the news a lot.
Right.
And she's breaking stuff down. She's talking about stuff that I don't even know about.
Wow.
And I thought it was important that we do talk about it, because I think as a society we should talk about race. We're so scared of it, we just won't.
Right.
And so I just had the conversation with her, just understand that is not how the majority of people think.
Incorrect.
Know your own self-worth. Don't let someone else put your worth, their value on you.
Okay. So don't let somebody define you.
Yeah. Don't let it define who you are, because you're better than that.
Right.
Because they, I don't know if somebody's going to come out of their face and say something because they feel empowered because who's running the U.S. right now. But I want them to be prepared for that conversation should it arise, and not feel belittled by anything that someone else says or thinks about you, because that's not who you are.
Right.
So I think you got to say it. You got to talk about it.
Right. We had a conversation. It was by accident. My daughter came home with a history project, and it was during Black History Month, and you had to do something on a historical figure. And she said, Daddy, I want to do George Washington. So me and my wife looked at each other like, well, I guess we're going to have this conversation.
That's deep. Okay.
So it was just really, really, really interesting. So we're going to wrap this podcast up because I know you got some things that you need to do, sir. And, definitely want to thank you for being on, even though Ms. Poles was in the background. Thank you for blessing us with your presence. Any last words out there for any parents or any student athletes out there? Any words of wisdom for them?
I mean, I want to say thank you for having me on. Obviously, it was it's always good to support my homeboy, but I'll tell on this podcast, just like I say to any student athlete or prospective student athlete, you're young, you're in high school, you may not know what you want to do, but have an idea and let that be a guiding light through college. Don't let the coaches dictate to you what you should be doing.
Okay.
It's your life at the end of the day. Think of the 75% of college football players will play for a different coach than they're recruited by.
Say a statistic one more time.
75%.
75.
So that coach is recruiting you, and they have an idea for you. Have your own idea for yourself. And that to me is very important, and I think that can get lost. So, let it be that, and hopefully maybe somebody want to call me, talk to me. I'll be willing.
If it wasn't Syracuse, if it was some other school, maybe. But no.
But before we go, I do. My mission is to find out rather than. I'll say this. I want people to embrace their pettiness because I'm petty. I'm a very petty person. So I'm curious.
Yeah.
Petty?
Am I petty?
Yes.
Very far from being petty.
Okay. So
yeah, I'm just looking for confirmation because I don't think I am. Yeah, I don't think I am.
Sure? Because I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Should we go rings? Where should we go? Let's go rings. No, matter of fact, let's go. Yeah, let's go rings.
Yeah, rings is probably a better place.
If you can do it all over again, right? How much would you spend on a wedding ring?
It's a bad question. I don't know what I spent on the first one.
I don't know what to say. He's on vacation. That's 13 hours on the way home. Like, what you mean you don't know what you spent? I don't want you to have that conversation.
At the time, I wasn't looking. It was all about, hey, honey, whatever you want, go get it.
Miss Poles knows how much she
knows what she spent.
So let me ask you this. Is it the 3 month that we use, 3 month salary that we use as a comparison how much you should spend?
I think that's what you're supposed to do.
Okay. Yeah. So how much for the women to spend on a man's ring?
Well, I don't wear my ring, so I honestly...
He's a unicorn.
The audience wants to know, where is your ring, sir?
I got several of them in the box in Syracuse. Like on my dresser though, on my dresser.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why do you have more than one?
Well, the first one we bought, it got too big. I almost threw it out. Like I went to go throw something in the trash and it slid off my finger and I had to catch it. Then I was being active, so I got another one that didn't cost a lot of money, so I can just wear that one.
Okay, let me ask you this. Who's buying these several rings? Are you flipping the bill for this, or is it...
She's buying it with my money.
Let me ask you this. Is that petty for her to go spend your money on your ring? Is that petty?
Well, ultimately, the last one I got was...
the last one?
What was the last one I got? I wanted I liked her wedding ring, so I said I wanted one of...
I think Miss Poles needs a microphone because I feel like she has a lot to say.
She's holding her tongue.
She's not saying anything.
Let me ask you this. Since she doesn't have a microphone, is your wife petty?
No.
Don't answer that question.
She's particularly not petty.
Particularly, but not petty.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a very
No,
thin line.
Listen, both of y'all petty for sending me that box. It'll close it. That was petty.
No, that was a joke.
No, that was petty.
You were hopeful?
That you would,
You could join us in our happiness and our joy.
Is that what we call it? Is that what we calling this right here? Happiness and joy. That's pettiness.
No, that was all fun.
Definitely not petty.
So I'm sorry you struck out on the ring thing. Bad man asked that question, I guess I could say.
I have more, but I don't want you to have to sit in the car and have a conversation.
That's no big deal. Because people ask me all the time, how can you don't wear a ring? I'm like, I'm not a jewelry person. Never have. She knew that before we got married.
That he wasn't a jewelry person?
I wasn't gonna wear a ring.
So why do you keep buying them?
Because
Every once in a while, we'll go somewhere and she'll go, here, put that on. Okay.
Is that petty?
He's gonna keep looking until he finds a petty move.
Particular, not petty.
He's gonna keep going.
Yeah, but no, I'm not a jewelry guy.
Okay.
So, she knew that. And to me, obviously, it's a symbol of unity and one and all that.
Circle of love.
That's
all that
cute.
stuff.
That's
Circle
cute.
up. But my thing is, the way I look at it, I've seen people cheat with a ring on. So what does it mean? What it mean? What it means is in your actions,
Okay.
not in what I put on.
Okay. That's good.
That's just my own personal view on it. You know what I mean? That's just me.
Have rehearsed that. That's good. That's good.
I had a feeling I was going to get ask some odd questions on the podcast.
Absolutely.
That's good. So that is really good. So let me ask you this. All right. No,
Yeah.
there you go. Because you're an athlete. Right. Now, when you got recruited, were you recruited for quarterback or safety?
Some schools recruited me as a quarterback. Syracuse recruited me as an athlete. I played I played 3 different positions. I changed positions 5 different times at Syracuse.
Okay. So did you get the opportunity to at least try out to be a quarterback when you got there?
For like one day.
One day. So was that petty? Did you have a petty coach?
You gotta understand who was in front of him.
They had a particular way of doing things. Not petty. They knew what they wanted. Ultimately, they wanted me to be their linebacker.
Linebacker?
Yeah.
What size are you?
No, I was in college. I was 6'4", 210. They thought I was going to be 230, 240, which I'm now, but
I'm about to say,
So
interesting.
Yeah. So they moved the quarterback, safety to linebacker to wide receiver back to safety.
So they didn't know what to do with you.
I didn't know what to do with myself. Like I said, I struggled with not playing too. So I'm not going to blame it all on them.
Interesting. Okay, let's switch topic. Now, when you guys go out to eat, right, and the bill comes, who pays?
She pays with my money.
sometimes.
Wait a minute. What do you mean? She goes in your pocket and takes out your card? How's it?
She got her own card.
She has her own card?
Yeah.
Okay, so how does she get to your card?
It's the same card.
Link back.
Yeah.
She needs a microphone. She's trying to tell you.
Okay, so you guys have a linked account.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have another account besides the link account?
A business account.
Yeah.
You have a business account. You have access to the business account.
No, I don't want access there either.
You don't want access
No.
to it. Interesting.
Can we talk about your business real quick?
Yes.
Can we slide you over, please?
You gotta get a little microphone.
Yes.
Okay, we finally got her.
Finally got her. Let's make some noise.
I think this does work. I keep digging.
I knew it.
Something will come up.
I knew it. So what do you got going on out there in Syracuse?
I have my own little business. It's I design and manufacture handmade men's accessories. Bow ties, pocket squares,
Oh, wow.
lapel flowers.
Can we get some for podcast?
Absolutely.
None of which I'm wearing right now.
Yeah.
You are a rebel.
No,
He's a rebel?
He's not petty, but he's a rebel. Stubborn.
And where can people find or get in contact with you if they are interested in
I
this?
have a website. It's J. Allen Inspired is my the website. The company's name is J. Allen Inspired. There's another story behind that. But
Well, his name is Jason Allen Poles. I just put your government out there. Had to do that.
So
the
the
company
company is fully inspired by my husband, and so
He doesn't wear any of the stuff.
he does,
I do.
but not today.
I do.
And not many days, but he does.
It was just this year. It was different. I went open collar.
Yeah,
I didn't go with
open
tie.
collar
I
and
didn't go with
sneakers.
tie.
He's being a
Yeah.
rebel.
I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna go open collar. See if I still have a job. Or like this is Jason Allen inspired.
But that's the contradiction, though. Like, you can't have an accessory company but not wear the accessories.
No, he does.
He's
I do.
different, man.
but
I do.
yeah,
He's different.
Are you a Raider fan? By any chance? Oakland Raiders?
No.
We
I just watch football.
You still hold on to that story.
I used to watch John Elway, Denver Broncos. So by default, I was a Denver Bronco fan, but I liked him because of John Elway.
Okay.
He ain't playing no more, so I just watch football.
So back to your ties.
So custom made bow ties. Again, the website, it's a very limited amount on the website. It's like what I keep in stock, but the majority of my business is custom. So
Okay.
literally I have clients who they trust my design, brain, and they or ideas, I should say, and they'll call me and say, I want 4 bow ties. I want the colors to be orange and blue, pink and green, and
do that.
We don't do anything with owls on them.
That's petty right there.
There it is. Thank you.
But that's my job, and I'll design 4 bow ties and put incorporate those colors, and they come. I mean, some of them are really just crazy, fun designs. It's not, I do a plain bow tie, but many of my bow ties are not.
Well, we're putting in an order for Empowerment Perspective bow ties. It has to be red and white.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
All right, so we're Delcy colors, so that's good.
Okay.
We
It's not cherry and white is the official colors of the only university that matters.
Yeah.
J.A. is being petty.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I do. So sometimes when we go out, I will pay the bill because I make my own money. Not as much as the husband. He is the breadwinner, but I buy some bread sometimes too.
I understand.
I'm not paying the mortgage, but I can take him out to dinner.
Okay.
That's nice. Now, does that waiter give you the check, or do they give you the
They
check?
always put it down in front of him, which is,
That's disrespectful, right?
Exactly, and then I pick it up, or, I mean, it depends.
I don't even reach.
Jay goes like this, I gotta go to the bathroom.
But we have, it's our money. It's not one of the, it's sometimes like before we've been together for a long time.
Yes, you have.
Yeah, it's been a long time. And before we were even married, we had, before we were married, we had accounts that they were together.
Okay.
Credit cards were together, bank accounts were together. And before we were married, I did work, I had a serious job full time before all the kids. And then I had kids, and he goes, I don't want you working. Now he's kind of like, kids are getting old, go back to work. But people, our friends were, you have same accounts. How does that, and it just didn't matter. And many times he would always call me, what's the password for the bank account? I'm like, why do you not know this? You should know. I can run off with all the money.
It's CTE,
He's good and he's consistent in everything. I like him.
But, we talk about we communicate, talk about everything. If it's, I don't go out and just, maybe sometimes shoes or, but we don't make any crazy purchases without, hey, I'm gonna, and we just, I don't know.
That's special.
It's the kids in the house, and we don't live.
I don't like to
Crazy.
shop,
Neither do I.
so there's no fear on her end that I'm going to come home with 10 suits, sneakers. I don't like to shop.
No, I do all of the shopping
No,
for
shop.
him, and whatever doesn't fit, I take back and I return. And
I spend my money on food.
Like, where you guys going to eat at tonight now? You're here in Jersey. Where you guys going at tonight?
I don't know.
I don't know. Haven't thought that far into tonight.
Yeah. I don't know.
I was happy last night. We got to living in. Okay, let me how am I gonna phrase this? Living in Syracuse, it's different. We're from the South Jersey area, and Cherry Hill in particular, where everything is right there. And we live in Syracuse, and it's like, okay, it's not much of many things accessible. You have your Target and certain stores, but like Season 52, we don't have one of those, and that was one of them.
Well, I have no idea what a Season 52 is.
It's a great restaurant in Cherry Hill.
I don't go out that way anymore. Since y'all left, I was like,
All the traffic.
Go out there.
Where's that in Cherry?
It's
Cherry Hill Mall.
Cherry Hill Mall, right, like outside up there.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have Deluxe, and then you have...
It's right down from the like Bahama Breeze.
Yes. So it's
Right next,
from that?
right next to Bahama Breeze.
Okay.
Right, but Urban Outfitter,
Oh yeah.
but Season 52, and then
any of these people that are out there that work for these companies, I want my cut. we obviously are shouting y'all out in the Cherry Hill Mall.
So that's where you guys are going tonight? You guys
No, we ate
I
there
don't
last
know.
night.
I don't know where we're gonna go tonight.
Yeah, I haven't thought of tonight.
I got to work. I got a meeting later. A couple meetings later. I have no idea. I ain't think that far.
Very interesting.
12:30. I'm already thinking about that. I'm petty though, so I'm already thinking about what you do.
Say I'm not petty, so I can go eat anywhere.
No, we
Don't
have
make
already
difference.
decided that.
That's the end of it. Keep going.
We've already decided that being told that you're anti-temple, right?
That's petty.
That is petty.
That is petty.
And then you need colors only can be certain colors
That's petty.
We could eat a Chick-fil-A and I would be happy.
I wouldn't be happy for you.
No?
No.
So we don't have Chick-fil-A. Well, we just got.
We just got
we just got
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
Do y'all have anything out there other than snow?
Come on, man. Maybe you know if you came up.
You right. He called
But
me
I ain't
out.
gonna call you out.
I tried to come up there today. But you act like you wanted to come down here. But listen, yeah, I'm not, me and Syracuse, just because you go there, I have an issue with Syracuse. It's personal.
No, I went there. I worked.
You work there, and it's even worse. That means you staying there.
Petty.
That is.
Listen, I'm petty. I'm embraced
I'm
it.
rubbing off on it. Everything he's going to say, like, that's really
That's petty. That is petty.
He's always been petty, so if you're rubbing off, that's gonna go bad.
Wait a minute. What you mean? Always been petty? You sound like
I mean,
you
we
know
love you,
something.
but I mean, we've known each other for a long time too.
I am petty. It's all right.
So are you, a book coming out soon? Yes?
Book me? No.
Are you guys not going to go author a book?
No.
Y'all do look like y'all could co-author a book.
You should.
I read books.
Let me write it for you.
Ghostwriter?
Not at all.
I was gonna say, well,
Or the spins on that thing.
Be my interpretation of your life.
Okay.
No, because you guys have interesting stories. So, you have the company, you have the athletic side. So, your story, her story, how you guys combine. And then
our story together.
Yes.
That's cute. That's cute.
Got the
That's
title
a good
already.
read.
Now you gave me something to talk about on the way home.
13 hours.
It's only 4.
It's only 4.
hours. It's only 4 hours.
That's
It's
the
only
name
4
of
hours.
the book. It's only 4 hours.
24 hours.
It's only, that's fine.
Where Orange meets Island Girl.
Oh.
See, look, I keep saying 13 because I'm thinking that's how far.
No, it's only 4 hours. It's only 4 hours.
It's not that far.
You guys are 1 hour from New York City.
No. See, we're central New York, so you go out, not up.
Oh,
Well, it's
okay.
really
So-
about 5 hours from here.
It's 5 hours. From
Yeah, it's
Now it's
not
getting
5
longer and longer. See? And they got snow.
It all
You
depends.
wonder why I'm not up
depends
there.
on how you drive.
That's true.
So we're about 4 hours from New York City, 4 hours to Toronto.
Oh, wait a minute. Y'all by Canada?
Yeah.
Takes me about an hour to get to Canada.
He needs a
Right, you need a map right now.
It's not adding up. You just said we're 3 hours from Canada. It's like, yeah, I can get to Toronto in an hour.
No, you get to Toronto in 4 hours.
In 4 hours.
Yeah, same time you get to New York City to Toronto.
But Niagara Falls in less time, but yeah, we're
Yeah.
4 hours away from New York City.
And who picked that location? I'm just curious.
That's just where I went to school.
No, you went to Syracuse.
I went to Syracuse.
That's not Syracuse. I thought Syracuse was 13 hours from here.
No,
Syracuse
Syracuse is most probably 4.5 hours.
Oh, my goodness.
It's only about 4.5 hours.
Okay, let's call it 6.
If you drive slow, you got to drive real slow.
So
To
you get
make
stuck
sense.
in New York City.
You
on
don't
95.
You don't even take 95.
You don't go that way.
81.
I never even heard of 81. You've heard of 81
See, you got to get on the map, man. You got to get on the map, take a look at it.
81.
And Syracuse is not a bad place to live. It's a really good place to raise a family. So,
Okay.
in the summertime, it's actually really beautiful. We got a lot of lakes, a lot of water.
The month and a half that you got or
I would
something.
say maybe mid-July to mid-August.
Mid-July, May, June's good.
It snows in May.
Every once in a while.
It
You
snows
talking
in
about
May.
somebody from the islands, and then you can't argue that point with
Yeah,
that.
let's
She
not-
said July.
It's July and August. It's nice.
It's not getting 90 degrees, so
Yeah, they don't hit 90. Maybe to 90 degree.
I think
You ain't got to worry
That's
about
it.
the girls sweating their weaves out up there. Then they just,
It's so easy to say. Everybody's so into saying.
summer's is safe and safe. There's no weaves, no weaves busted out.
So you got
That's funny.
60 days of summer, that's it?
You get more than that.
61.
61 days?
Whatever.
Man.
Don't be poo-pooing. You gotta go back home.
that's petty.
He may not have been petty before he came to South Africa. Now he's back, and he definitely is petty now.
We're hanging out with me,
That
so.
is petty. No. Spence, any last words before we get out of here?
Yes. Embrace your pettiness. Embrace it. Yes, embrace it.
Just to close out a couple of things. Obviously, the book Life Music is out. You can catch it on Amazon. Put my name on it, or on the empowermentperspective.com. Hit the road, man. We're getting out of here. Pittsburgh, we'll see you on Tuesday, and then Detroit and Chicago, and a couple of things out there, and then heading back. Empowerment Perspective, we'll be in Atlanta, going to the A, and then also out in Vegas as well. So I'll catch you guys out there. Today's lesson is going to be winners and losers. Listen, the world that we live in, there's winners and losers. The system of capitalism is built on winners and losers. You have to decide on what side of the fence that you're going to be in. Success doesn't care about your, mishaps and the things that happen to you. All it wants to do is can you produce and can you continually produce constantly in order to be successful. So stop making excuses, put your head down, and just go out and do it. This podcast came out just because we were having a conversation and said, let's just record it and have this conversation. Run a nonprofit organization that's in 9 different countries now just because of a conversation. So continue to talk and just put your head down and do it and trust the process. Until next time, stay empowered.